Hey, yo, it's the ugly truck driver. How the flock are you? Well, it seems I've stirred up a tad bit of a hornet's nest regarding my opinions and views about the Veterans Administration mishandling records, causing the deaths of veterans through inactivity and everything else, even amongst my fellow brethren that are veterans. And of course, we always get the ones that says, "Well, I got excellent service, and I've always had good service from the VA." And to which I will sit there and say, "Well, good for you." But there's a bunch of people out there that have not. Speaking for myself, I believe I was on one of those lists about trying to get appointments to see a veterans doctor and get some treatment. And yeah, the other day I went on a big rant. I went totally ballistic. I went ballistic on General Shinseki, Barack Obama himself. I happened to watch the news this morning. There's a senator down there in Washington, D.C., a black Democratic senator, that had the same attitude I did. But he said it more politely than I did. Because he said, "President Obama, you need to get into this. You need to go find out and check it out." Which is politically polite. But you know me, I'm not politically correct. I don't cut no mustard with nobody. But the thing is an ongoing dog and pony show. It's kabuki theater, very bad kabuki theater. And it may have cost the lives of hundreds of veterans, because we found 40 in the Phoenix VA Center. And now all of a sudden it's popping up all over the United States at other veterans centers. But the news media keeps downplaying it. About the only one that's really following it close and tight is Fox News. And it's like, I don't know, if I was General Shinseki, I'd have been jumping up and down, up and down. I'd be calling for blood. And when you look at what Obama said the other day in his interview, "Oh, I learned about it from CNN 3 weeks ago." When are you going to stop buying these lies from this administration? My personal opinion is this administration is the most scandal-ridden administration I have seen in my 67 years of life. Obama and his minions make people like Richard Nixon look like an angel. I don't know. When are you people going to wake up? The outrage, or in this case I will call it the underrage, exhibited by Obama, Shinseki, the Pentagon, the veterans people that are the authoritarians that work for them, and the liberal news media, absolutely astounds me. And as was said by one of the talking heads on Fox News, if you think this is bad now with the VA and how people are being treated or mistreated or ignored, wait until Obamacare kicks in full bore about 2017. Because when Obamacare kicks in full bore in 2017, this veterans fiasco will seem very, very small. But see, all you people out there, what I call sheeple, the low information voters, those that are just too dumb to even be concerned about it, much less Benghazi, the IRS, Fast and Furious, and the rest of them, you're in for a very rude wake-up call. I don't know what to tell you. I've ranted, I've screamed, I've hollered, I've put out my position on this and my personal experiences over the years in dealing with the Veterans Administration, and how I am left with the feeling that they're just going through the motions. And yet I've got a couple of buddies, I will admit, have gotten very good service from the VA. But in general, when you have to wait 3 to 6 weeks just to get an appointment, in general, if you file a claim for Agent Orange and PTSD and you have to wait anywhere from 18 months to over 3 years to get a reading on it, after the government has finally admitted that anybody had boots on the ground in Vietnam had come in contact with Agent Orange, it ought to be an automatic given. You got Agent Orange. You're a Vietnam vet. Therefore, you get a certain percent of disability automatically. As far as the PTSD thing, that's a little bit more nebulous. And you've heard my views on old videos about PTSD. But it seems like we've got a lot of guys coming back from overseas that are suffering with it. I can look at it two ways, okay? There was a study done. Now, this is not me. This is a study that was done by people that investigate this kind of stuff. The average GI in Afghanistan or Iraq during the war saw 60 to 70 days in a tour of active combat. Guys like me in Vietnam, I won't say like me because I didn't see that much action, but I saw enough to raise the hair on the back of my head. But the guys that were up in, DMZ areas, the Marines and all that, guys down in the Delta, they saw an average of 240 days of combat in a tour. So if you do the math, that means Vietnam vets saw more combat per tour by a factor of at least 3 than the guys coming back from the Middle East. And that is not to take anything away from the guys that went over there. These are our young brothers coming up behind us. We be the old farts. There's not too many of the World War II types left. And I believe they saw a hell of a lot more combat than even we did in Vietnam. But I keep waiting for people to wake up and smell the coffee. And yeah, I'll probably go on a rant or 2 more. I upset a couple of people on my social pages by my language and my attitude and beating on my desk. And you know what? If that's what it takes to wake you up and make you smell the coffee or smell the roses or whatever, and get your head out of the sand or out from up your butt, I'll do it again. I'm not going to apologize for something that I believe so deeply in. Our military vets, even the active duty types, are getting so screwed by this administration, it's unbelievable. And all these idiots in the administration do is pay lip service, which is why I say it's kabuki theater, and very bad kabuki theater. I don't see that much outrage coming out of the liberalistic news media. I don't see that much on the different websites, other than some conservative websites that go totally outraged. I've got friends that have got blogs out on California that hammer away at it. But then again, everybody does it more politely than I do. Well, you know what? I'm not into politeness. Sometimes you have to say things to grab people's attention, to sit there and get their head out of their butt and say, damn, I need to go investigate this and go look up a little bit more about it. That's all I do. Like I said before, it's my opinion. All I do is ask the questions. But when I speak from first-hand knowledge, y'all ought to sit up and pay attention just a little bit more. But like I always say, that's a truck driver's opinion. As a Vietnam vet, I think the VA is screwing all of us one way or the other. My opinion. Later.